Hey, how you doing? I'm coming to you, broadcasting as it were, from my garage. I'm hanging out here today, just working from home since it's fall break. So I can't remember if you're the same person that I had spoken to via email, but there's a couple of ways that you can approach it. My question is this for the class where you have to find 10 peer-reviewed articles on something? If so, I'll show you that. But if you take that well named and descriptive title for the disorder, if you're looking for specific interventions or treatments, there's probably, yeah, look here, there's that's cool. It's easier than I thought. I thought I'd actually have to dig for that one. But there's like the clinician's guide to that particular disorder. And that's an ebook though, so that's not a scholarly article. So you could find, if you went into this, you could see maybe even the table of contents, and it might go through like a description, intervention, something like that. And you could get a laundry list that you could then go into the scholarly articles. Let's give that a try. Let's see if there's a table of contents. No, let's go into the ebook. It's 2019, so not too out of date. Rather up to date, I would argue. Ooh, I am freezing out here though. It's a cold day. Da, 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 da. Let's see, dedication. So there's prediction, causes, theories, assessment of evidence-based treatments. I'm laughing because most of the ones I've looked for this week for a similar class have not been so straightforward. Um, Overview, efficacy of treatments. Look at that. Behavioral management training. Let's see, anger control, problem solving. Oh, cognitive behavioral therapy. It's the darling of social work and psychology for the past 5-7 years. Let's try that one. But you could go through each one of these, and each one could be an article for it. Okay, so can I cut and paste that? Usually ebooks don't let you cut and paste. They're afraid that you're going to steal it. Okay, so let's go back to the library homepage. And in that email that you saw below, the one that I'm writing to from today, there's a database in psychology called PsycInfo. So we go to databases. And we can go by subject. And I'll go into psychology. The psychology librarian, Marie Paiva, has picked this one at the top. And this one is very popular with social work people. In fact, it's one of their favorites. So here's what you have to do is those keywords that I put in there. So we have oppositional defiant disorder. Why am I putting it in quotes? It's so when it searches through the database, it doesn't look for the keywords here and there, but it looks at them stuck together. And then you just have to put in then you just have to simply type in the word that I can. Oppositional defiant disorder. You could put in a gender. You could put in an age range, adolescent. Let's do that. Although I think it is pretty much adolescence. And I'll do that intervention that was listed in the book. Cognitive behavioral therapy. So what it's doing, each thing that is separated by the AND, the AND, which is called a Boolean operator, is a concept. And so it's going to look for the disorder first and give back all the articles that have oppositional defiant disorder in the title, the keywords, or the abstract. That's it. It's not full text search. It's just those metadata. It's going to look for that, and it's going to bring back a big bunch of articles. Out of that pool of articles, then it's going to look for adolescent. Out of those articles, then it's going to look down for cognitive behavioral therapy. So there's one way you can do it if you know the name of a therapy. You could also add and male, but there are 53 articles here. How do you cruise through these and pick which one is the best is objective. You're going to have to go through these. There isn't a relevancy rating that's reliable enough, even though it says that has one. The relevancy is something that you have to negotiate and read through these. The abstracts are informative. You can also go to the newest ones. You can omit the old ones. So there's a slider right here. So you can just say, okay, I just want the last ones. You can sort by date newest. Very importantly is right here, there's a peer-reviewed checkbox. If you're required to have peer-reviewed articles only, this is a reliable way of getting in. It's not 100% correct. Every now and then, a letter to the editor or a newsletter will get through, but typically that'll work pretty good. And I think that's all that I've got for you. Switch the keywords around, try different disorders, or you could open up the keywords and just say, you could do the and male, but it's going to be a lot bigger then. Then it's going to be looking at all the different treatments and interventions. Oh, I didn't even put that in as a keyword. Oh, let's do that before I go. So there's 1,000. Let's add one more keyword. Intervention or treatment. As soon as it finishes chewing. And male. And so I don't know if it's going to be intervention or treatment. So let's do both. I can put an or in there. So instead of the and, where it's saying whenever I use and, it reduces, an or kind of increases. So intervention or treatment. And I'll close that. Oops, I already have one. Now when I search, fingers crossed, this is going to give us what we're looking for. But I think it might be better for you to look up the specific interventions and then just go through and pick the articles that you think are best. Because 400 is a lot to go through. So here's a medical intervention. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. But that might be, it's that. Have you ever heard of comorbidity, where you have two different disorders going on? This might be related to something completely different than oppositional defiant disorder. So there you go. Let me know how it goes, and I'm happy to help further.